Hello, my divine sea stars and bro stars! How are you doing today? The beautiful warriors of light, rainbow light. Thank you so much for being who you are. Namaste, guys. Thank you for shining your light. You're in the front lines. Go for it. We are behind you. Okay, welcome to my channel. My name is Nilüfer. The thing is that nowadays we are going through all these things that gives us that thing like, oh my god, what's going on? But then I think the universe has prepared all of this. All we need to do is to just walk. And I think this applies to everybody. And do your best to follow the universe, have faith in the universe. And sometimes our minds get very, very convoluted. Oh, guess what? We have been bathing, actually being suffocated in these artificial constructs that have been placed. I don't know if I think there's a I think there's a good enough validity when I say artificial. Though I like to subscribe to the natural process, but natural birthing process, natural evolution process, I totally subscribe to it. But it does not exclude that we might have made this artificial loop in creating things, and as maybe you all are completely aware, also not only by hearing and learning and all of that, but yourselves, you're experiencing and witnessing that our minds never really stop um, until it gets transformed and transmuted through our ascension process. So our minds have that really strong tendency to keep on the old programs running and running, and not to be accused, because that's the nature of the mind as it has been conditioned, and we have been conditioned. So it is very normal for our minds to come up with scenarios that are as scary as you can imagine. Literally as scary as you can imagine. Okay, so I was just listening to Paul Butler. He was also talking about observing that people are scared that they would be losing their free will to whatever is coming to help us. Okay, be it angels, be it aliens, be it I don't know. I mean, mainly mainly the theme is on angels and aliens and so forth, because we just seem to not have enough confidence in ourselves and in our divinity to be able to just do these things on our own. We are completely able to do that once we truly connect to the divine. The only problem is that the concept of the divine has been polluted to such an extreme that, in my country, I see many people really becoming atheists and losing their religion because it has such strong connection with corruption. And I know that it's the same thing with the Christian world, with, all these churches having all these problems and so forth. So, it leaves us not so many choices, because, you know, our beautiful concepts have been corrupted. And this seems to be, we can call it an artificial programming, or we can call it the evil programming, but I rather say that it is a programming that we have created through our attention and involvement, through acknowledgement and restrictions placed by that. Like, you have to do this. So it's very normal for us to come up with these scary ideas. And honestly, I have been witnessing on YouTube a channel which I have been like trolling back at them because they were, you know, sorry, but seems like some people would like to take advantage of this evolutionary step. And luckily, I don't see it for a long time, but they were like inserting ideas of control through the presentation of paradise on earth. And I was always like, nope, 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 nope. We are sovereign beings. That's it. We are sovereign beings. We are sovereign beings. Okay? And even if we are stuck to the corner with all these things that are coming at us, you know, all these conditions, physical, mental, emotional, it doesn't matter. We are sovereign beings. And all we need to do to access that sovereignty is to connect with our divinity. Because we, all humans, have that divine inside us. And all we need to do is to just connect to it. And once we do, everything opens. But of course, like the Buddhists have that wonderful, you know, advice, don't get attached to the results. I mean, connect and then release the results. Connect, ask, request, ask for help, and then release the results. You may run into many constricting premises, ideas, rules, physical expressions of things um, that are either physically in your life or mentally presenting themselves to you as probable restrictions and probable fears, like, oh, maybe our freedom of choice will be taken away because, like, in that channel that I know, which I was trolling to really stop them, because it's nonsense, and I don't like anybody inserting ideas like that. You know, they pay very good attention to those things. They do that a lot. They give you a big beautiful gift of an image of paradise, and then there's one sentence, one idea that just kind of goes boop in there. And then if you accept the whole package as is, you know, maybe like a 5-minute video that has, oh, you're such divine and everything is cool. And then, for example, in this divine paradise, paradise world, you know, people will not be able to talk negatively to each other, because every time they talk to each other negatively, they will have a twitch going like, they cannot speak anymore. You know, if a system makes me twitch to stop me from talking negatively, it is an obstruction of my free will. It is an obstruction of my free will. And it doesn't matter whether it's a chain, physical iron chain on my legs, or it's a, you know, some kind of a twitch that I just cannot stop myself from, you know, doing. And that stops me from talking negatively to another person. It is an intrusion of my free will. And we are not in this world to be intruded upon our free will. We have the connection, the divine connection. And if you want to take it like we are like little godlings, or we are little co-creators, we are big co-creators, it doesn't matter. But what matters is that we have the free will, and we have the obligation to become mature and wise, so that we really can step up with clean shoes. That has been recently utilized a lot with many light workers. Clean shoes. We can step into this paradise, the house of paradise, the home of paradise. Okay? So nobody has the has the right to interfere with your free will. You have the obligation to learn from your mistakes as well as your good deeds, as well as your bad deeds, and all of it. You have to live this life the way it is. Even our dark night of the soul is teaching us great lessons. So if any system tells people what they should be doing, it is an artificial system. Artificial in the sense of AI, artificial in the sense of our own convoluted minds, and the need to control each other and the need to control our outside circumstances. It is artificial. Our divine living includes our purity, our divine love and light, obviously, and our free will, our sovereignty. And the best thing you can do during your passage, during your voyage to that paradise world, and during your voyage of enlightenment, is every time pay attention. Anything that your mind says because you will hear it in the back of your mind, you may be having a very good experience, a very pure experience. You may be contemplating about how it will be beautiful in this way, that way, whatever. You're like delving in these beautiful energies, beautiful memories, beautiful ideas, imaginations, emotions, all of it. And then in the back of your mind, something starts speaking like, oh, well, then, maybe they are, I will be honest. There has been many times where, for example, I said, okay, the angels are helping, the aliens are helping, but I cannot see them. So I'm like, in some kind of a suspicion, right? And then, well, I know that it's very possible to kind of like torture a person. It's called negative reinforcement. You just give them something that they don't like and then present what they would like. And they'll jump on it. Like you put them in fire and then you come with a bucket of water and say, do you want this? And they're like, they will see that, oh my God, you're like my savior. But they're the ones who placed you in the fire first. Okay, so that's a very important thing. And I'm not trying to put this in the matrix or, the air. But I'm pretty sure that many of you guys are going through some thoughts like that because that's in the air too. Okay? It's maybe you're not hearing now, maybe you hear it later. But do this. Every time you hear something like this, okay? Every time your ideas are very paranoid and very conspiracy theory like, saying that, oh yeah, now they're helping me, but they placed me in this, because that speaks in the back of your mind. Okay, I'm being honest. Hopefully not for you guys. Maybe it's just me, and I hope it's only me who is having these things. But in case you do too, just do this. Just say, I cancel any contracts that I have signed or inclined to sign, which has been presented to me through deception. Okay? All you need to do is this. Just say, I cancel all the contracts that have been presented to me through deception. So once you do that, you are like, even if when you're thinking, okay, let's imagine that the whole world conspired against you and they now presented to you an angel figure, okay, angelic realm figure. And then you're like, yeah, please save me. And then I'll follow all of it. It's like just. But then in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, this could be done, And it's very normal process. People have been doing this throughout the history, and I know that it can be done. So my mind, in its defense mechanism, is saying, watch out, it's a warning, it's a warning, there's this process is possible. Are you sure that this is honest? Are you sure that this is pure? Are you sure that this is purely divine? Is it possible really that you may be a divine being? Is it possible really that you may be actually ascending into an amazing expansive being who is physically here and actually like all over the universe in an infinite levels and layers, and actually being able to comprehend what is going on? Our minds are not capable of seeing this wide. That is why we need to change, transmute our minds, like educate our minds, really, not change, transmute, push away the ego and all of that, but we need to educate our minds. Our minds have to become wise and be able to comprehend what is going on. And how can it do that? Of course, until we reach that stage of pure paradise, our minds will still, be going on with the script and scheming, because it's part of the process, so that we don't fall into the false light. But our minds now has to assume the responsibility of keeping us from the false light, as well as keeping us from the negative, dark side. So we have to really get into that discernment, and we need our minds, our intellect. So our minds have to switch from the egoistic, self-serving paradigm, where it's like everything is against it, into like, okay, I can get that this is not against me, but this may be, so I'm giving a heads up on that, and then let's see if it is so, and so on and so forth. This is how. And of course, another thing our mind has to do is to just simply be able to kind of relax into it, so that it can really have a wider vision. And to have that wider vision, it needs to switch from prediction to observation. Just observing and comprehending what's going on. Being able to see the patterns that are, connected between, at different layers, at different levels, and between, and all of that. So that's why I'm saying that we are becoming more intelligent, because we really are starting to utilize our minds more than what has been told to us, but in a completely new way. And in that completely new way, we have to just observe. We have to just say, what's that new thing? Don't forget, every time you are stuck between your mind's complot theories, conspiracy theories, and saying like, okay, I may be being manipulated, and like, okay, I can see the true divine presence, life, and so forth, and I don't know what's going on. Just apply that simple thing. I cancel all the contracts that have been presented to me, that I have been I signed, or am signing, or will sign. All the contracts that are presented to me through deception. You're done with that then. They will have no power over you anymore. It doesn't matter if they tortured our whole ancestry and brought this idea so that we can ascend. Once we cancel any contract which has been pushed on us through deception, we will be free. We will be free after that. Every time you come up with any kind of conspiracy or fearful ideas, or Anything. This, even if it is real, let's just not talk about it in the sense that it's my mind who is playing the fear. Even if this is real, okay, even if this is real, this canceling the contract which has been pushed on us through deception will clear it out, because we are sovereign and we are living in a free will universe, and God always honors our requests, and may take time for them to kind of come real, but it is real, it is real. It just trickles down to the 3D a little bit slower. Okay, guys, namaste, much blessings, much love. Keep shining your beautiful light. Thank you, guys. Namaste. Bye bye.